Someone anonymously sent a weird message in our work chat. Don't go to the company retreat the second weekend of October. Don't wear skirts shorter than your knees. Don't kiss any animals, including people. But it's already noon on the second weekend, and we just got to the retreat destination. A beautiful, freshly painted and renovated hotel. Don't stay outside after 10 p.m. Don't agree to let anyone into your room. There will be all sorts of situations and ways to get you to open the door, but under no circumstances can you agree. No screaming, no loud talking. The door cannot be double locked from the inside. The door can be blocked with a cabinet, but not double locked. If locked, it can't be opened. Don't stick your feet out of the bed while sleeping. If you suddenly wake up, don't open your eyes. No matter what sounds you hear, you can't. Don't pull back the cloth covering the mirror at the foot of the bed. If the cloth falls off by itself, don't look in the mirror. No one will deliver food in the middle of the night. There will be no room service in the middle of the night. If you find your room has been cleaned, don't touch any food by the bed, and don't drink the wine. When you go out, don't wear skirts shorter than your knees, and don't wear low-cut tops. Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. Don't talk to the staff. If you accidentally communicate, immediately find the manager on duty and ask for a red cloth to cover your face when you sleep at night. You can help the cleaning staff. You can ask for their cleaning supplies, but you cannot ask for food, especially drinks. Please note the difference between the cleaning staff and the regular staff. The retreat ends on the 3rd day. You cannot leave once it starts. Who is that? A dare? Are they crazy? The new colleagues who had just gotten off the bus all saw the message in the chat group, and everyone was talking about it. Seriously, April Fool's Day was months ago. Aren't they tired of this yet? Daisy, next to me, scoffed. She happened to be wearing a super short skirt that perfectly showed off her great figure. I looked at my phone. The young people here are all newcomers to X technology company. There's no way we would pull a prank like this in the company chat. The group was created a long time ago, and I don't even know how I got in. I quietly counted the group members. It seemed like there was one more person than the people present. When did that happen? The front desk was lively, with only one receptionist, but I didn't see any other staff. They say the company boss has a stake in this hotel. The land the hotel is on was originally prime real estate here, but somehow it fell into decline and was sold off in pieces. This retreat is like a trial run before the grand opening, to boost the hotel's reputation. So, the newcomers are all attractive streamers who will film here as required and produce videos later. Messages were flooding the group chat. The retreat is 3 days, right? Why does it say it ends on the 3rd day? Yeah, I heard the boss is coming when it ends in 3 days. I heard that too. The boss is pretty handsome. HR lady, remember her. She's got ulterior motives. Fire her quickly. Another really good-looking young girl with fair skin next to me seemed to be in marketing. She was reading the messages carefully, sentence by sentence. After finishing, she acted dramatically nervous. It feels a little creepy, but also really fun, she said, giggling and glancing at me. I haven't seen you before. Hi there, I'm Coco. I wanted to speak, but my throat felt dry and hoarse, and it hurt to talk. I followed her to the front desk to get the key, and then looked back at the group chat. But no one had changed their nicknames in the group, so I couldn't tell who was who. While the group chat was buzzing, the company's other chat group sent out a message and mentioned everyone. 9 p.m. tonight, gather at the karaoke room on the 4th floor for singing. Everyone must attend, no absences. Company leadership will connect with everyone live. Be sure to show our newcomer spirit. Gathering requirements. We've ordered the best roasted whole lamb, which will be delivered at 11 p.m. Save room for it. We've prepared the most delicious wine, air-shipped. But don't drink too much. How you drink reflects your character. You can practice your songs in advance. Everyone must perform on stage. If you throw up, don't worry. The manager on duty has arranged VIP one-on-one exclusive room service. No need to worry about washing your hair or brushing your teeth. Please wear your prettiest little dresses and be the prettiest stars. This is the first newcomer meet and greet. It ends at midnight. If you're still feeling it, you can arrange things yourselves, but make sure you can get up the next day. We hope everyone actively showcases themselves at this gathering. To encourage everyone, points will be awarded based on your performance. Points will be converted to bonuses after the retreat. Suggested songs are mainly high-energy, explosive tracks. When Coco added me to the chat group, there was a chorus of complaints. Seriously, after a whole day of driving, they won't even let us rest for a bit. So tired, my face is breaking out. I don't want to go. Can I ask for leave? I heard if your score is below 60, you won't pass the probation period. Huh? Really? Daisy is the scorekeeper. The boss personally appointed her. Singing on the 4th floor late at night? A requiem? We're staying on the 5th floor, and the number 4 is quite prominent. As soon as that sentence appeared, everyone seemed to realize something, and the group chat went quiet for a while. Upon checking in, we were assigned 2 people per room. I went in with Coco and shared a room with her. She's lively and noticeable, and she quickly added the other newcomers. She showed me her phone. They originally had a small group chat. One person in it said, "I think it's a bit much." They clearly said there would be 5 people. When I got off the bus just now, I counted, and there were 8. The person who came into the room with me is named Mandy, right? She acted so innocent, saying she got a little carsick and just found out too. I wanted to look at the previous chat group again, but I found that the group had been disbanded. Luckily, I have a habit of taking screenshots. I reopened the screenshots. Coco leaned over. "What's this?" "It's from the chat group when we joined the company. Didn't you see it? We have a chat group." "I didn't join. I'm in another group. The group name is Cute Fish." If she didn't join, then, who was that girl with the pouting face in that group? Too bad I didn't screenshot the group members. In the evening, Mountain Villa Hotel sent out a new notice. Notice regarding traffic suspension. Due to sudden heavy rain, the road out of the mountain has been cut off. Vehicle service is now suspended. Training group notice. Due to sudden heavy rain, the planned mountain hike scheduled for tomorrow is suspended for everyone's safety. Housekeeping department notice. If your room needs cleaning, please hang the red sign on the back of your door. Restaurant notice. Dinner time will be extended from the original 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Breakfast time remains unchanged. Restaurant adds seasonal dish, pig lung and bamboo shoot soup, 10 servings daily, first come, first served. Logistics department notice. Circuit maintenance will be conducted daily from 10 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. Room phones will be unavailable. I hadn't even unpacked my luggage. Looking at the room, I just felt inexplicably thirsty and tired. My head was heavy, and I felt like I was catching a cold. Whenever I catch a cold, I get dizzy, so I just lay on the bed. Coco was humming a song. She had just received a payment on her phone, last month's salary, tips plus base salary, which was quite substantial. No matter what, I have to seize this job opportunity. This job can help me pay off my student loans and family debts within half a year, and maybe consider a mortgage on a small apartment within 2 years. Thinking about the people who joined at the same time as me, they are all different kinds of people, but without exception, they are all here for this. In the group chat, we introduced our positions and ages, and everyone quickly hit it off. Just then, I suddenly realized that for these positions, even though the names of every two positions were different, about 70% of the job content was similar and overlapped. This meant that for one position, almost two candidates were hired as backups. And these two backup candidates were also arranged to stay in the same room. So, this is what they meant by the rumor that if you scored below the passing mark, you wouldn't pass the probation period? Everyone thought they were hired, but maybe this was actually a continuation of the interview process. Thinking this, I couldn't help but open the screenshots on my phone again. Coco was trying on her colorful dresses in the room. Many of the dresses looked expensive, so it seemed her family background must be pretty good. How about this one? Is it a little too revealing? But it really shows off my waist. What about this one? Is it a bit too stiff? This one is good. She finally pulled out a sleeveless, strapless dress that cinched her waist and showed off her long neck and beautiful collarbone, looking both pure and sexy. My hand was still on that screenshot. Above it were the rules. When you go out, don't wear skirts shorter than your knees, and don't wear low-cut tops. She had changed and started putting on makeup in front of the mirror. The lights in the room flickered on and off. She pouted and complained. It's only 8 p.m., and they're already doing maintenance? It's too dark in here. She looked around and saw the mirror in front of her bed, covered with a dark red curtain. This is by the window. She happily walked over and put her hand on the curtain. I lowered my head. Don't pull back the cloth covering the mirror at the foot of the bed. She pulled it back. But nothing seemed to happen. I looked at the group number on the screenshot, searched for the group again, and clicked to apply to join. No verification needed, I got in directly. It was completely blank inside. The group name was now Fish. In English slang, fish can mean a person, an idiot, a beginner, and it also means a new prisoner. I saw Mandy, the girl who called herself HR, in there. She happened to be asking in the group. What happens if you stay outside after 10 p.m.? But no one replied. I looked at the group list. Only the AI robot had a lit-up profile picture. Mandy said hello to me. Did you believe what was sent earlier? She asked. It's just a bit strange. What about you, are you going tonight? I don't know. I want to ask for leave tonight, Mandy said. My mom says it's better to believe it than not. I have my period today and my stomach hurts. I also made up an excuse. I don't like gatherings and I'm not good at singing. These situations are always socially awkward for me. Then neither of us will go. My roommate Shirley doesn't want to go either, Mandy said. It was already almost 9 p.m. outside. Coco finished her makeup, grabbed her bag, turned to look at me, and confirmed that I really wasn't going. She was a little disappointed but also a little happy. You're really not going? The boss is going to connect live tonight, you know? I heard he's really handsome. I shook my head. I was originally leaning against the headboard reading, but without realizing it, I fell asleep. After a short nap, I suddenly woke up. Someone was knocking on the door outside. Knock, knock, knock. I rubbed my eyes, picked up my phone to check the time. It was exactly 10:10 p.m. I want to come in, okay? It was Mandy's slightly nervous voice from outside the door. I didn't know when the lights in the room had gone out. But I remembered that I hadn't turned them off. The temperature in the room was very low, and I had goosebumps all over. Nina, are you there? I know you're there. The voice outside became more urgent. Nina, open the door, let me in first, it's a bit cold outside. My body, which was about to get out of bed, stiffened. I saw the rule saved on my phone. Don't stay outside after 10 p.m. Don't agree to let anyone into your room. I secretly picked up my phone. There was no signal. I slowly picked up the landline phone by the bed. There wasn't even a dial tone. My heart was pounding. I turned my head to look at the door. The door was not locked. A faint light from the hallway shone through the crack under the door. There was no shadow or sign of someone standing there. There was no one outside the door. But then, a voice spoke up again from the side of the door. "It's me, Mandy. Open the door." I felt the color and warmth instantly drain from my spine. I slowly pulled the covers up and covered my head. With a soft click, the lights in the room suddenly turned on. Just then, through the thin wall, I heard Coco's voice from the hallway not far away. She was whining tearfully. Another girl was comforting her nearby, seemingly from the operations department, Lucy. "Lucy, don't be sad, Coco." "Coco, how can I not be sad? Look at my dress, it's got so much red wine spilled on it." Coco's voice was soft and sweet. "I think that Daisy deliberately pretended to spill the wine because she saw you were prettier and more eye-catching than her, making you miss the boss's live connection." "How sneaky." Coco immediately became even more upset. "Lucy, don't be afraid, sis, I got your back. Change into an even prettier outfit and she'll be ashamed of herself later." Coco walked to the door. I heard the sound of keys and room cards rummaging in her bag. I stared intently at the crack under the door on the floor. Now there was a pair of feet standing outside. This was Coco. But suddenly, I saw a shadow next to her shoes. I should have spoken up to warn her. I should have called out to her. But a voice inside me was telling me, "Don't speak, don't speak." While I was hesitating, the door opened with a jingle. Coco walked in. She put her bag on the sofa and mumbled, looking at my quilt, "Sleeping so early." It was very quiet outside, with no footsteps. But I knew the hotel had thick carpets, so even if someone walked, there might not be any sound. In the darkness, Coco took out a dress, a short, form-fitting dress that hugged her waist and hips. After changing, it perfectly highlighted her figure. She was humming a song. Before she went out, I saw that my phone had a signal. I should have reminded her, but how could I remind her? When the signal came back, my phone vibrated non-stop. It was like an alarm clock going off. I heard Coco, who had already walked out, suddenly come back. Oh, I didn't turn off the alarm. Her hand reached into my quilt. It was icy cold and carried a strange, unspeakable smell. I held my breath. The spot she touched had an unspeakable metallic smell, like rust. My spine was stiff, I felt nauseous and wanted to throw up. Coco turned off the alarm on my phone and stood up again. She still wanted to go out. Her fun wasn't over yet. Bang! That was Coco closing the door. With that sound, it was as if something outside had slammed violently against the door, a dull, intense impact. But with such a loud noise, it didn't attract any questions from other guests. Holding my breath, I perked up my ears. The entire hallway was extremely quiet. I could even faintly hear high-pitched singing from the fourth floor. I wrapped my arms around myself, pressing the back of my hand against my lips to prevent my teeth from making a soft chattering sound. The person outside seemed to have left. But in less than a minute, there was a sudden knocking sound again. Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. Coco, Coco, are you ready? It sounded a bit muffled, seemingly Lucy from operations. Her voice sounded a little impatient. The singing downstairs is almost over. I swallowed hard, my throat hoarse, and finally couldn't help but speak. Coco already left. The knocking outside the door instantly stopped. I was just about to breathe a sigh of relief. Suddenly, I heard a voice from outside the door, with a light laugh, as if she was hiccuping. "Oh, so, you weren't asleep?" Every hair on my body stood on end in an instant. The person outside wasn't Lucy. Trembling, I reached for my phone, wanting to try dialing that familiar number, 911, but there was still no signal. Under the dim light, the last chat record on my phone stopped at a screenshot of a video link and everyone's anticipation of welcoming the boss. The network was completely cut off. Fortunately, at this moment, the rumbling sound of a dining cart came from far away and got closer. I remembered what was said in the chat group when the singing notification was posted. We've ordered the best roasted whole lamb, which will be delivered at 11 p.m. Save room for it. So, theoretically, the person delivering the roasted whole lamb should be a staff member, a human. If I could contact them, and leave with them. Trembling, I stood up, carefully walking barefoot on the carpet, and shakily approached the door. Just let me get a look. If it's a normal staff member outside, I'll forget everything else and leave with them. I can't just sit here and wait. I can't let myself be slaughtered. A string of thoughts surged in my mind, like bubbles. Since I was little, I've only been able to rely on myself. Don't be afraid, Nina, don't be afraid. I held my breath and approached the door. Outside was the rumbling sound of the dining cart wheels. I leaned my face against the door and slowly put my eye to the peephole. It was pitch black outside. I couldn't see anything. How is that possible? The hallway clearly had lights. While I was wondering, I saw the darkness slowly recede, and the light re-emerged from the peephole. I saw a large face. In that instant, a scream was like a dagger hanging in my throat. I jammed my finger into my mouth, stopping the sound. I was trembling all over, looking at that face so close. It was Coco. She was upside down. Her face was like a swing, swaying back and forth, back and forth. One moment it was her dark hair, the black in the peephole, the next it was her big face. I used all my strength but still collapsed against the wall, weak. Trembling, I grabbed my phone, and it fell to the ground. I tried to pick up my phone, but my elbow hit the vase next to me. The vase fell in the entryway with a crash, shattering into pieces. I grabbed a piece of the broken vase. Someone was outside the door, very close to me. I could almost feel the other person watching me through the door. Knock, knock, knock. 3 polite knocks on the door. Room service, a pleasant male voice said. There will be no room service in the middle of the night. That rule was the first thing that popped into my mind. Can I come in? The male staff member asked again. Don't stay outside after 10 p.m. Don't agree to let anyone into your room. I remembered everything. No. You can't. I said. It was silent outside for a moment. After I answered, I remembered the third rule. Don't talk to the staff. And the supplementary rule that followed. If you accidentally communicate, immediately find the manager on duty and ask for a red cloth to cover your face when you sleep at night. But I didn't dare go out. I knew there was a red cloth in front of the mirror. Coco had already pulled it down when she was doing her makeup tonight. Trembling, I grabbed it and covered my face with it. When people are nervous, time feels incredibly slow. I didn't even know when I fell asleep. I woke up the next morning at 5 a.m. The darkest time before dawn. I opened my phone screen under the covers and glanced at the time. The phone battery was low, and several group chats had new messages, all 99+. While I was asleep last night, the network seemed to have been connected for a while. I opened the group chat, and someone had posted a video of Coco singing. Her voice was beautiful, and she looked stunning. What's going on? Did you hear the knocking? You wish you were that beautiful. Who was knocking in the middle of the night? My voice is hoarse. I'll never sing with my real voice again. The roasted lamb still isn't here? Is it coming tonight? What time is it? Why is the signal so bad on the 4th floor? But there weren't many playful messages. What followed were messy voice messages and panicked videos. People were sending videos and voice messages, but I didn't recognize any of the voices, and there were men's voices too. There's something in the mirror? No, there's something wrong here. Why isn't there a fourth floor on the elevator? Why isn't there a fourth floor on the elevator? How did we get there just now? Look what this is, it's coming. It was a video just a few seconds long. The video was just black, then a sudden flash of white. It looked like Coco at the door. That's right. Coco. I shivered. I was holding my phone, about to send a voice message, when I felt something beside me. It moved, and it was Coco's voice. What are you doing? Why are you up so early? But last night, she wasn't. I felt a chill run through me and didn't dare move again. After a while, I felt Coco slowly crawl over from the foot of the bed. She had a pleasant scent, like mushroom soup that had been simmering for a long time, but a person shouldn't smell like that. She was sleeping right beside me. Her breathing was soft, her chest rose and fell, and her entire head was face down on the bed, her hair covering her body. I didn't dare open my eyes again, didn't dare speak. I lay stiffly until the faint sunlight shone through the gap in the curtains. It was morning. I breathed a sigh of relief, opened my eyes, and everything in the room was normal. It was as if nothing had happened, as if it was all a dream. The vase in the entryway by the door was still there, perfectly fine, and the broken ceramic piece I had been gripping tightly in my hand last night was gone. It felt like I had a terrible dream. Maybe I was too tired. I looked around blankly, everything was calm. I steadied myself and looked at the door. The door was bare, with just the door frame. There was no way someone could have been hanging there. The sunlight seemed to give me some inexplicable courage. I looked at the group chat messages again. The group chat was completely silent. Nothing there. The latest messages were 2 good morning greetings. It was as if the voice messages and screams I saw in the early morning were hallucinations. I tried to keep scrolling up. Now, there was no internet again. My phone had no signal and couldn't make calls. It could only connect to the hotel's Wi-Fi. I threw off the covers, ready to get up. Just then, I saw a very faint bloodstain a little below where I had been sleeping. On the sheets further down, there was a very faint layer of dust. That was the mark from when I was cut by the ceramic piece last night. No, last night wasn't a dream. As I was thinking this, I saw Coco in the quilt open her pitch-black eyes. She avoided the light, staring at me blankly, then slowly smiled. She looked like she hadn't slept for a very, very long time. Her eyes were bloodshot, and her expression was listless, as if a new person had taken over her body. I didn't dare look anymore and quickly turned my head away. I quickly washed up, got dressed, and left the room without looking back. I didn't take any of my other luggage. As I walked out the door, I decided I wasn't coming back today. I walked to 507 next door and saw the door wide open, but no one was inside. Walking further, 509, still no one. My heart felt a little panicked. Just then, I saw someone who looked like a cleaner pushing a cart of tools. The used bedding and sheets on top were piled high, caught on a rug, and he couldn't push it. I walked up and helped him push it. The cleaner turned his head, saw me, and his expression was a bit stiff. After a while, he smiled gratefully. He looked at my clothes. You got something on your clothes. Do you want some of this cleaner? It works really well. Rule. You can help the cleaning staff. You can ask for their cleaning supplies, but you cannot ask for food, especially drinks. I wasn't trying to get a reward, but when he offered, I immediately thanked him and took it. Just then, HR Mandy and her roommate Shirley walked out of 503 next door. Both of them had big dark circles under their eyes, clearly hadn't slept well. Mandy's face was particularly pale. They walked over, saw what I had, and also wanted something. The cleaner glanced at them. There's not enough cleaner. There's also some drinks here, do you want any? No, no. We said in unison, walking forward. The restaurant is at the end up ahead, the cleaner said to the beautiful and charming Shirley. The elevator and stairs won't be open before 9 a.m. Sure enough, everyone likes to talk to pretty girls. I asked Mandy, last night. Mandy immediately made a shushing gesture. We walked to the end of the hallway. The restaurant was right there at the entrance. There was a sign with the latest rules at the door. Restaurant notice. Dinner time will be extended from the original 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Breakfast time remains unchanged. Restaurant adds seasonal dish, pig lung and bamboo shoot soup, 10 servings daily, first come, first served. Thinking that I had to eat well if I wanted to leave, and preferably take some food with me, I specifically got some cakes, bread, and boxed yogurt. When I came back, I saw Shirley holding a bowl of fresh pig lung and bamboo shoot soup. The reddish pig lung, the mixed aroma, the pale bamboo shoots. The smell was very similar to Coco's. I got the last 3 bowls. It's limited to 10 servings today. Do you guys want some? Mandy looked very tired. She nodded, absent-mindedly stirring the pumpkin porridge in her bowl with a spoon. Only when Shirley walked over did she ask, "Did you come knocking on our door last night?" I quickly told her part of what I experienced last night. Mandy's face became increasingly serious and pale. Her hand stopped stirring. She was in HR and had talked to the driver for a long time when we got off the bus, so she naturally knew more than us. When I was in the lobby, the driver quietly told me that they had originally planned to build a hotel and residential area on this land, but they couldn't. Because they said, there were problems. He also said that he used to bring some people here, to suppress things, but it didn't work well. I hadn't heard about that, but looking at the setup here now, it looks pretty good, like it's about to open. It's hard to tell. She swallowed. I didn't believe it at first. But what happened last night was too strange. I remember when you knocked on the door, I was just in the bathroom. Anyway, luckily you didn't open the door. I was a little relieved and briefly explained about the crack under the door and the shadow. Mandy pursed her lips and said, "No, I didn't open it, but Shirley did." As soon as she finished speaking, Shirley's voice came from behind us, her voice with a dry laugh. "What are you guys talking about? I didn't eat that bowl of pig lung soup." Shirley ate it with relish. She had a bad habit when eating. She liked to smack her lips. In the quiet restaurant, I could only hear the smacking sounds. I didn't feel awkward, only uneasy. The sound reminded me of some kind of beast, and I kept thinking I had heard it somewhere before. Finally, I couldn't stand it anymore and stood up. Seeing this, Mandy also stood up. "I'm finished too. This pig lung soup is so good. I want to finish it," Shirley said indistinctly. I felt even more like throwing up. After standing up, I realized that at some point, many people had arrived in the restaurant. Along with the staff and cleaners, everyone except Mandy and me had a bowl of pig lung soup in front of them. Suddenly, there was a faint, slightly bloody smell in the air. I walked towards the exit. The elevators were right at the end of the hallway. The display showed the floor 4. I pressed the down button, but neither of the 2 elevators came up. I glanced at the emergency exit next to it. The stairwell sign above was a large 5. Because it was written in red paint, it seemed it hadn't dried completely and was slowly dripping downwards. Just then, my phone chimed. It was the notification sound from the onboarding chat group that I had specifically set. I immediately opened my phone. Several lines of text were displayed, very messy, even with typos. "Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. Don't go out in the rain. If you do, don't look back when you return to your room. If you talk to the staff, immediately find the manager on duty. Don't touch anyone's chin." I closed the notification, my fingers icy cold. I heard the pouring rain outside, very heavy. Just then, Shirley chased after me, asking why my face was so pale. I saw faint red marks around her mouth, remnants of the pig lung soup she had just eaten. She said there was internet just now, and she received a message saying that the trainer couldn't make it because of the heavy rain. The subsequent activities would be carried out by her on their behalf. As she spoke, she looked back at the restaurant, still looking like she wanted to eat more. Watching her mouth open and close, I felt that unspeakable bloody smell return. The time on my phone reached 9 o'clock, and the elevator came up. I quickly stepped in, saying I was going to find the manager on duty. There was number 4 button in the elevator. I pressed 1. At the last moment, someone outside suddenly pressed the elevator door open and then forcefully squeezed in. It was Daisy. She was still wearing a short skirt, no makeup, and didn't even look like she had washed up. As soon as she came in, she leaned against the elevator wall, looking like she could barely stand, and reeked of alcohol. "Which floor are you going to?" she said. "I'm leaving. I'm going to the first floor." Mandy whispered next to me, "You can't leave once the retreat starts." Daisy turned her head rudely, but her lips were trembling. "What damn rules? You guys saw that too? I think someone's just trying to spook us. Crazy people. I'm not doing this for $30,000. What a hellhole. What a hellhole." Mandy was stunned for a moment. "Your salary is $30,000? Shirley said it was $15,000. That wasn't the point anymore." The moment the elevator door opened, Daisy rushed out. Then the elevator door started to close. I was about to press the open button, but I realized this elevator hadn't reached the first floor at all. So, where was the door opening now? "Wait," I called out. The motion-activated light outside didn't turn on. The elevator door was slowly closing. In the last instant, I saw a faint green light, the emergency exit sign, and a small 4 next to it. We reached the first floor, and the lobby lights were still on in broad daylight. None of us spoke, standing at the elevator entrance. The elevator slowly went up, 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 5th floor. Then came back down. But Daisy never came out. No, something's not right. My head hurt so much, it felt like someone was buzzing in my ear. I didn't want to stay here for another second. This hotel is definitely messed up. I grabbed an umbrella and walked straight outside. It just felt stuffy, an indescribable damp heat, like a muggy summer day in October. Mandy hurried after me. "What's wrong, Nina?" The rain ran down her face, surprisingly bringing with it dirt. I felt the rain wasn't like rainwater. The moment I stepped outside, I held out my hand. The rainwater was sticky, falling on my fingertips, like some kind of soup, thick and fragrant. The rain soaked into the mud. I stepped on the lawn and got my feet muddy. Damn it, this rain had been falling for at least half the night. No cars, halfway up the mountain, the road damaged. In this situation, the possibility of walking out of the mountain was too low. If I couldn't get out, that meant I had to stay here for at least one more night. The retreat ends on the 3rd day. No way, that's too long. I was going through the rules one by one in my head. Just then, a hotel staff member in a suit walked by with an umbrella. Mandy called out crisply, "Manager." She was always gentle and enthusiastic. The manager on duty didn't turn around and just stopped. He waited for us to catch up, then asked somewhat listlessly, "Do you need anything?" His voice was flat, mechanical, like an AI without emotion. I instinctively said, "I need a red cloth." "Don't talk to the staff. If you accidentally communicate, immediately find the manager on duty and ask for a red cloth to cover your face when you sleep at night." The manager on duty nodded, "Okay." Just then, Mandy said uneasily, "Sorry, I got so much mud on myself." Her white leather shoes were covered in mud. Stepping on the ground, she looked at her feet and almost instinctively turned her head. behind here. A chill went down my spine instantly. In the new rules, don't go out in the rain. If you do, don't look back when you return to your room. Maybe, this didn't count as returning to the room yet, after all, we were still in the outside corridor. As I was thinking this, I heard Mandy's shocked and uneasy voice, "Daisy, what are you doing standing in the rain?" For a moment, I almost turned back. But I forcibly held myself back. Mandy was still calling out, "Daisy, where are you going?" The hand she was holding mine with was getting soft, not the soft touch of a pretty girl, but a sticky softness like cooked noodles. My scalp tingled, and I instantly quickened my pace to get out of there. I followed the manager on duty to the duty room. The duty room was simply furnished, with a door, a window, and a duty bed inside. A thought immediately popped into my head: if I could just tough it out here for one night, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Just get through tonight, and it will be daytime tomorrow. The manager on duty went inside and pulled open a drawer under the headboard. Inside was a stack of red silk squares that looked a bit like tray cloths. He took one out for me. It had a very faint scent, like sandalwood. There were faint stains next to the red silk. Holding the red silk, I immediately saw a handwritten duty rulebook on his cabinet. The ink was old, as if it had been messily written at different times with different pens. The rules on it were very simple. Do not interfere with guests' rest. If guests need it, provide red silk. Do not backtrack, do not ask about things unrelated to work. Do not stay with guests alone for more than an hour. If a guest lingers, please have security help escort them out. Do not go to the employee cafeteria for meals after 6 p.m. Next to the rules was a bowl of pig lung soup that was already half cold. I swallowed the words I was about to say. Shirley, who had finished breakfast, was greeting everyone in the lobby and organizing the team-building activities. She called each room, asking everyone to gather at the coffee bar in the lobby downstairs after breakfast for some ice-breaking games. To get to know each other. After being here for so long, there wasn't much material for shooting yet. I put the red silk in my pocket. The activity was held in the coffee bar next to the lobby. It was newly renovated, all fire-resistant materials, with a fiery red theme. I didn't really like it here and found a seat by the window. From this spot, I could observe everyone who came in. The hotel wasn't open yet, and there were no other guests, only occasional staff walking by without looking left or right. The hotel receptionist, who also doubled as the coffee bar staff, served us mocha and cappuccino. I asked for a glass of hot water. Mandy sat in front of me, holding a dessert like mocha with thick cream and chocolate sauce sticking to her mouth. She liked the taste and ate it spoonful by spoonful. She ate so cutely. For some reason, I always felt a sense of closeness to her. I took another sip of hot water. Mandy sat next to me. Were you scared just now? You walked away so fast. I held my cup. No. She said, strange, I saw Daisy just now. She walked away when she saw me. And your roommate too? She had a lot of cream on her face. She couldn't wipe it clean. I took out a tissue and, feigning composure, handed it to her. Here, and here. Just then, Shirley clapped her hands, and everyone stood up. My hand touched Mandy's chin. I wondered if it was an illusion. I didn't actually touch her chin. So, did I break the rule or not? Don't touch anyone's chin. The icebreaker games were pretty standard. First, we were divided into groups, then we named our groups, and finally, we started playing games as teams. As we played, we started playing Truth or Dare. The theme was my dream. Mandy, Lucy, and I were close, so the three of us formed a group. There were 3 groups in total. Shirley originally wanted to join our group, but she didn't manage to squeeze in and gave up. At some point, Coco came down. She and Daisy were in a group. The two people who were arguing yesterday seemed very quiet today. During the group discussion, everyone was talking excitedly about their dreams, as if we were back to the lively atmosphere of last night. The noise made my head buzz. Coco, I used to be a streamer. I want to save money and then participate in a talent show. If I become famous overnight, I won't have to live like this anymore. Everyone else echoed her, saying how good her singing was last night. Only I heard her thick tongue, saw her mouth opening and closing, her throat was swollen, as if someone had choked her neck until it swelled, her tongue fell out, and they stuffed it back in. But everyone else didn't seem to notice. Mandy finished the cream, licked her lips, and thought hard, I want to earn more money, and then later go to graduate school, study abroad, and get out of this small mountain village. When she said small mountain village, she seemed to pause for a moment. Perhaps she didn't expect herself to say that. Lucy, across from us, was a little helpless. I can't help it. I have a troublesome younger brother at home. I have to earn money first to pay off his online loans, so my mom doesn't hang herself in front of me. Lucy was outgoing and straightforward. She became familiar with most people in 2 days. She shared a room with Daisy, and only she could tolerate Daisy's affected, dramatic, arrogant temper. Everyone was silent for a while after hearing that. I talked about my dream. It wasn't really a dream, it was my goal, and it was about to be achieved soon. These words had gone through my mind tens of thousands of times, they just came out. I hope to have my own apartment. Pay it off, and get the keys smoothly. Have my own home. My goal is simple because I never had my own room growing up. After working for a few years, I finally had a little money, so I hope to successfully buy a house. To have a home that truly belongs to me, even if I am wronged outside, I will have a quiet place to cry. It's just that housing prices have risen too quickly before, and salary increases simply couldn't keep up. Perhaps my topic was a bit boring, no one responded. Others were also talking in 2s and 3s. Some wanted to earn money to get married, some had old debts to pay off, and some had family members who were sick. Everyone wanted to make money. Yeah, who doesn't want to make money? But ever since Mandy asked, and Daisy revealed her 30,000 yuan salary, everyone realized that their salaries were different, and now they were all a little subtly unhappy. Everyone was talking about money and having fun, but not a single person talked about what happened last night. The more they didn't talk about it, the stranger I felt. The hotel arranged lunch delivery at noon, and in the afternoon, there were a few simple, boring games. I carefully looked at the people in front of me. Right now, they all seemed normal. But not completely. For example, Daisy, who kept her head down and was silent and stiff. She barely spoke today. For example, Mandy, who smiled unconsciously from time to time. And Coco, who was dressed warmly today but wore heavy makeup. She didn't drink any water and didn't even notice that her lipstick was completely smudged. I didn't dare speak. My head hurt a lot, and I probably had a slight fever. I didn't want to be with them, so I stood up. As I walked out of the cafe, the air instantly felt fresh. I looked back, and their dark heads looked like burnt taro. I coughed. Not a single one of them looked up. After a while, they all looked up at the same time, a sea of pale faces. I just wanted to leave this place. There was one more day. I just had to get through it. I didn't go to the restaurant, and I didn't go back to my room. Naturally, I didn't dare stay outside the door. I chose the room next to 505, which was 503. I remembered this room was empty. I went into the room, inserted the key card to get power, and closed the door. I drew the curtains. Then I went into the bathroom and used the cleaner the cleaner gave me to wash the corner of the red silk that had some stains. Then I lay down on the bed and covered my face with the red silk. Tonight, no matter what happens, I cannot speak, cannot go out, and cannot open my eyes. With the red silk covering my face, my headache eased for a moment, and at the same time, the sky seemed to darken instantly. It sounded like people were walking back and forth in the hallway. In this environment, I had a strange, unspeakable feeling. I both wished it were louder outside and was afraid it would be too loud. In October, it should be completely dark around 7 p.m. The red cloth covered my face, and the room light shone through the red cloth and my eyelids onto my pupils. My phone occasionally popped up with messages, but they weren't real time. Communication was interrupted. I still couldn't make calls or send messages. It was as if we were confined within the hotel's Wi-Fi signal. In a daze, my phone chimed again, and then again. It was the sound of group chat messages popping up. I pulled the covers over my head. The screen light was a little harsh. Someone sent a short video in the chat group. I clicked on it. It was a video of someone pushing a dining cart towards the kitchen. There were panicked chefs, a helper, and a butcher, all covered in sweat, lifting the cart. Just then, the cart shook, and a severed hand fell out. I was startled. My phone fell onto the bed. I held the red cloth over my face with one hand and reached for my phone. Just then, I saw the number on the bedding. The hotel had good service. Different floors had different rooms, and the bedding was also numbered. I saw the number on this bedding. It started with a 4. This meant that I wasn't in 505 right now, but in 405. In a brief moment, all the hairs on my body stood up. There were no guest rooms on the 4th floor. That rule exploded in my head. Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. Don't take the elevator to the 4th floor. I was trembling all over, my spine felt cold. So it was true that hair stands on end when you're scared. I sat up abruptly, my legs were weak. I bit my tongue hard. I clutched the red silk. Trembling, I picked up the phone by the bed and tried to call the front desk, but the call wouldn't go through. I tried my best to calm down. Don't panic, don't panic. There's still time, there's still time. I need to go back to the 5th floor now. Even if it's back to Coco's room. Even if it's back to Mandy's room. Trembling, I went out the door. The hallway was very quiet. At the end of the hallway was the karaoke room. This was actually an entertainment option preferred by the older generation, so the hotel had clearly been built a while ago. It was really lively here last night. But tonight, it was very quiet outside. My legs felt weak, and my heart was pounding. I could only clutch my phone tightly, as if it were my only weapon. My phone kept making notification sounds. It was particularly jarring in the quiet hallway. I couldn't care less. I walked to the end of the hallway, but there was no elevator. I gritted my teeth, pushed open the door, and took the stairs. The stairwell was empty, only the sound of my low-heeled shoes echoed. Thump, thump, thump. Finally, I climbed up to the 5th floor and pushed the door open. Just then, a new anonymous group message popped up on my phone. It was very similar to yesterday's. But there were only a few short lines. Don't stay outside after 10 p.m. Don't agree to let anyone into your room. There will be all sorts of situations and ways to get you to open the door, but under no circumstances can you agree. If you find your room has been cleaned, don't touch any food by the bed, and don't drink the wine. You cannot leave once the retreat starts. The retreat ends on the 3rd day. There were also 4 new supplementary rules, which were voice messages. Each one was spoken by a different person, in a low voice, as if they were hiding from something. About the red cloth. If the red cloth has been washed, do not place it on your face. Instead, fold it neatly and place it by the door. If the red cloth is lost, immediately find the nearest room and enter. Entering a room now, you can lock the door. Supplementary restaurant reminder. Do not enter the restaurant after 9 p.m. Do not film the chefs working. Do not order the same dish repeatedly. Late night rule. If your roommate changes, do not disturb their rest. Do not touch your roommate, do not photograph your roommate. If your roommate speaks, do not answer. Do not look at your roommate's face in the mirror. Hallway. Guests should not be in the hallway after 10 p.m. After staff appear, room service ends. Immediately enter the nearest room. If you cannot enter, face the wall, do not turn around, do not respond, do not look down. Above. Damn it. Not only did I wash the red silk, I put it on my face. Right now, I was standing at the restaurant entrance, and faintly, I could hear the sound of chefs chopping meat. The meat seemed hard to cut. Thump, thump, thump. There was also the sound of using a blowtorch to singe off pig hair. Along with the sound, a faint smell wafted out, sticky and foul. My head started to hurt again, and this time it was particularly painful. This was a bad sign. I turned around to go back to the room but saw someone slowly walking towards me from the front. I wanted to cry. I regretted it. For a few $1,000, why did I put myself in such a dangerous situation? All I wanted was an apartment of my own. The person was getting closer, but I couldn't see her face. It was as if a mist was covering my eyes. I anxiously looked around, trying to find a room I could enter. Then I saw that the door to 507 was slightly ajar. I immediately ran towards 507. But just as I got there, the door closed. I knocked hard on the door. It's me, Mandy, it's Nina. Open the door, hurry up and open the door. It was completely silent around me. No one opened the door. What was going on? I clutched the phone in my hand, and it made a creaking sound. It wasn't 10 p.m. yet. I turned towards the side and, with all my strength, knocked on the door of 505, where I was staying. I lowered my voice and said to the inside as gently as possible, "Coco, it's me, Nina. I forgot my room card. Can you let me in?" There was still no movement inside. And then, the grandfather clock chimed. The echo was especially clear in the long, narrow hallway. Dong, dong, 11 times in total. No, something's wrong. I picked up my phone, the screen shining with a dim light. It was exactly 11 p.m. How could it be 11 p.m.? How could it be 11 p.m.? My mind was in chaos. The blurry-faced woman was almost here. I could only grit my teeth, lean against the wall, and close my eyes tightly. She can't see me, she can't see me. My heart felt like it was being squeezed, and my neck felt like it was being choked. I was tingling all over, never felt so scared. I used all my strength, but found that I couldn't say a word. The person behind me walked past, seemingly humming softly, no, not humming, but a strange chanting. The sound was particularly eerie in the 11 p.m. hallway. I should have fainted. But I had never been so clear-headed. I saw a pale hand reach out beside me. It was holding something. Beep. It was a room card. The door opened. I turned around abruptly and saw Coco's pale face in the light. Another colleague was standing beside her. It was Selena, who had been carsick and hadn't come out yesterday. Selena followed Coco inside. "Sorry, I forgot my room card. I'll stay here for now and go over when my roommate Lily comes back." Coco was expressionless. Trembling all over, I asked her, "Can I come in?" Selena looked at me, seemingly confused, but she nodded anyway, and I walked in. About the red cloth. If the red cloth is lost, immediately find the nearest room and enter. Entering a room now, you can lock the door. So, I locked the door from the inside. The bedside in room 505 had been cleaned, and there was a plate of fresh fruit for today. The first thing I did was check the room number. This time it was correct. The fruit platter was beautiful, the watermelon rind cut into a flower branch shape, with beautiful green and red grapes hanging on it. Most unexpectedly, there was also wine on the cabinet by the wall. The red wine in the decanter was perfectly aerated. Selina broke the silence. "It's so cold in here. The air conditioning is too low. It's so annoying." Lily had one serving of that pig lung soup tonight and wanted another one, insisting on waiting in the kitchen to eat it. I was too lazy to wait for her. Coco sat by the bed and covered herself up. Selina found the sofa, stretched out one leg, bent the other knee, and took a selfie with her head tilted. She took a few pictures but still wasn't satisfied. She picked up the red wine and took a sip. Her bright red lips immediately looked much better. "Hey, what do you think looks better, this big curl or straight hair?" "I think curly hair looks good, what about you?" I looked at her fluffy, soft hair and nodded. She took another picture and realized the phone camera was reversed, showing me instead. "Sorry, wrong picture." A message popped up, and she clicked on it to scroll through messages on her phone. Scrolling and reading aloud. "Strange, it seems like a lot of those damn broken rules are gone. I tried to sleep last night, but my phone kept buzzing and buzzing. I didn't go singing and didn't even get any rest. You cannot leave once the retreat starts, the retreat ends on the third day, there are only 2 left. What about the others?" "They're all gone," she yawned and threw her phone aside. The glaring mirror was right next to her. It was very uncomfortable to look at. I remembered the rule about not uncovering the mirror with the red cloth, so I prepared to take out the wet red cloth from my pocket and intended to use it to cover the mirror instead of the original red cloth. Hearing her words, I couldn't help but stop and look at the messages on my phone. Indeed, many were missing. But there were 2 supplementary rules, in text, with several typos in the 2 sentences. Late night rule. Do not look at your roommate's face in the mirror. Supplementary restaurant reminder. Do not film the chefs working. Even though many rules were missing, I felt like more and more information was flooding into my head, as if something was desperately trying to push its way in. The beeping sound of the information notifications also got louder and louder. Louder and louder. It was like a sharp alarm sound. It was like the sound of a heavy object falling. It was like the sound of squeezing and screaming. Chaotic, piercing, jarring, it felt like it was piercing and swirling in my mind. My head felt like it was about to explode. I had to go, I thought I should go. Someone seemed to be crying and shouting, "Hurry, hurry. Hurry and go. Nina." And it was also like someone was knocking on the door outside, "Nina. Open the door, let me in. Let me in. Open the door. Please. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door. Open the door." I felt my throat hurting, and my head hurting. I felt my body spinning, aching, and dizzy. I turned to look at Coco. Coco was trembling and squirming, but the quilt was sideways, and one of her feet was exposed. The visitor, Selina, had stood up at some point and casually used the red cloth I had dropped on the floor to cover the bothersome wine glass in front of her. "Humph, you think I don't know? My roommate Lily is so sneaky. She's definitely filming the secret recipe for that pig lung soup in the kitchen right now," she said, connecting to a video on her phone. "Hey everyone. I'm your cutest little fish. I'm here." "That's right," Coco said. She used to be a streamer too. Selina was also a streamer. This was a streaming technology company, and they were here to film content for marketing and promoting the hotel, which was about to reopen. But her voice was so annoying. Her eyes with colored contacts were so dark. She was acting cute and charming in the live stream. Yeah, I changed companies now, X technology company. Our company mainly does live streaming, it's very healthy." "What are you talking about?" Be careful, I'll come find you through the internet cable in the middle of the night. I don't know what kind of comment downstairs made her laugh. She laughed very cutely. I'm not going, she said. I'd rather get some beauty sleep with that time. Look, my bestie Coco is already asleep. Thanks for the rocket, brother goat. She tilted her head, this angle should be the best. Brother goat is biased. He's just arriving now. Did he go watch Lily's restaurant live stream first? No? Really no? I don't believe it. She smiled, Lily sang really late last night. She's very dedicated. Sister Daisy? She had a social engagement, probably too tired to come online. Someone spoke again, and she furrowed her pretty eyebrows. Who said that? Nonsense, what sponsor? Ah, pictures of the hotel boss and Coco, Daisy, and Shirley. What do you mean our streamers are the boss's backyard? That's too much. Me? A hotel staff member is just my paternal uncle. He heard I was coming, but he didn't give me any benefits and told me to just rest for a few days honestly. What? Staying here for free? No way, it's company business. This time our company is going all out to help vindicate Mountain Villa Hotel. Single room? They originally said one person per room, but there are too many monks and too little porridge, you know. I can't compare with Daisy and them. They're the ones getting the single rooms, I have to squeeze in. Selena was pretending to be pathetic, and it clearly worked well. She quickly laughed. Everyone, please don't spend too much. Just remember to like the PK rankings in our company's real-time live stream, please, please. Huh, oh no, don't pick on my typos. Putting brother, going all out, is a derogatory term. How about pretty girls hitting the streets? Whatever you say. She was so good at acting cute. I saw Coco's exposed foot trembling, so I walked over, wanting to cover her up properly. But there was an unspeakable, unpleasant smell coming from her. Selena tilted her head and took a sip of wine. Her small face was slightly flushed. To all my supporting fans, tomorrow at noon is the deadline for counting the popularity likes for the live streams over the past 2 days. I need everyone's help. Lily and the others are a little ahead of me. So I'm specifically online today to ask for more support, please. Just go to our company's real-time live stream room later and tap the like button. Okay? No wonder she came back, loosened her clothes, fluffed her hair, and tilted her head slightly. It was all for this moment. She finished speaking and was about to go offline. Suddenly, she saw a comment and leaned in to look. This brother, even if you don't support me, you don't have to say I look like I'm about to die. That's too much. I don't know what you're talking about, huh? Mountain Villa Hotel had a murder case before, we know about that. It was just an accident a long time ago. An accidental fire on the 4th floor. The guests in the karaoke room who were escaping accidentally closed the door to the fire escape, and a few girls inside couldn't get out, everyone knows about that. But Selena has to tell you the truth, with thousands of years of history and China being so big, where haven't people been buried? This was an accident, nothing could be done. This brother, what you're saying is a bit much. What do you mean Mountain Villa Hotel benefited from it? That's how they got the land, which was originally for residential buildings, so cheap. Those are two different things. My boss is a shareholder here, you know, and my uncle used to be a security guard here. Of course I know the truth. The truth is it was an accident. The truth is it's very safe here. You saw it yourselves yesterday. All night long, we sang and played, there was nothing strange at all. Who are you? If you keep talking like that, I'll report you to the company and the hotel, and we'll send you a lawyer's letter. Or how about you leave your name? What, you were the person responsible for the aftermath back then? Don't listen to him talking nonsense. Selena widened her eyes, looking at something. She seemed a little panicked. This is too outrageous. What do you mean some people escaped but were deliberately left on the mountain road in the heavy rain to die, crawling for hundreds of meters? Abandoning them was to avoid taking responsibility for their treatment? That's defamation. What do you mean I don't believe it? What don't I believe? All I know is that with such a good location and environment, this hotel is being constrained by all these weird rules you guys come up with, and it can't get off the ground at all. Selena was a bit annoyed. She was live streaming secretly, which already violated the company's PK rules. Now, with someone making a fuss like this, she was even more worried about violating the rules and affecting her ranking. If she could get into the top 3 in this live stream, she would be a key focus for the company. She hung up the phone. Angrily, she threw her phone aside and saw me touching the grapes on the fruit plate over there. She still reminded me, "Hey, you saw it, right?" Coco can also testify that Lily live streamed yesterday, so my live stream today doesn't count as a violation. If you live stream, I won't say anything either. I felt the faint grape scent on the grapes. Compared to Coco's foot, the grapes were actually warm. I looked at my hands, my fingers were pale and icy cold. Selena was still chattering on. "It's hilarious, that crazy person must be a spy sent by Lily to mess with me. The atmosphere was so good originally. My uncle is also something else. He said he would arrange a spot for me, but he arranged the corner spot, and told me not to come out. She was good looking, even when she was angry. I half squatted on the floor and looked up at her. Her eyebrows and eyes looked a bit familiar, increasingly familiar. Looking at her, I suddenly remembered. She wasn't lying. She was indeed the niece of a staff member at Mountain Villa Hotel. They looked a bit alike from a certain angle. Specifically, from this angle looking up at her. That staff member used to be an ordinary security guard at the villa but was now the head of the hotel's procurement department, a very lucrative position. Selena mumbled for a bit, getting more and more angry the more she thought about it. She picked up her phone again, found a contact, and made a voice call. "I'm going to tell Daisy. She's the scorekeeper, right? We can't let Lily film it." The voice call started ringing, sharp and jarring. The piercing singing voice hurt my head. I couldn't help but turn away. From this angle, I could see Coco's face in the quilt. Her faded eyes were staring fixedly at the mirror, as if she saw something unspeakable. My spine tingled, and I didn't dare turn back. And Selena was angrily making the call. Then she saw how I and Coco looked and instinctively turned to face the mirror. I had never seen someone's eyes widen that much. She suddenly leaned back and actually fell over. I kindly tried to help her up. She screamed, "Get away! Get away! Don't come here! Don't come here!" The voice call on the other end connected. A female voice asked, "Selena?" Selena screamed. "I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I don't want the money anymore. What live streaming event, what debunking rumors, it's all lies. Lies. This hotel is haunted. Help, help. Help." Her voice was almost breaking. Only 2 rules remained now. You cannot leave once the retreat starts. The retreat ends on the 3rd day. Selena scrambled and crawled towards the exit. She stumbled to the door. She reached out to open the door, but it wouldn't open. Regarding the door rules. The door cannot be double locked from the inside. The door can be blocked with a cabinet, but not double locked. If locked, it can't be opened. So, I'm sorry, it couldn't be opened. As each rule was broken, I remembered more and more things, and I could go to more and more places. Many years ago. This was still a development zone. This piece of land sold for an excellent price because of the scenery and location. Our village had homestead land here. The result of the demolition negotiation was that everyone would get an apartment and a decent amount of compensation in the local resettlement, and the compensation contract was signed based on the proportion of the land price. But later, this area was planned for hotel construction, and because of the scenery, they were also going to build villas. If it were villas, naturally there would be no compensation for the villagers. After difficult negotiations, many people couldn't hold out and chose compensation in another location. But 3 educated girls from our village didn't agree. Led by Lucy, who was straightforward and studying law, we came to the hotel to meet the boss for negotiations. Newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. We were full of vigor and fearless. Lucy even found loopholes in their change of land use rules and problems with the environmental impact assessment report. If this was revealed, it would directly affect their construction. Our demand was simple: we wanted the original plan. We had lived here for over 20 years. Many of our family ancestors were buried here, and after the hotel was built, this place would be much better than the resettlement housing in another location. We just wanted an apartment of our own, especially me. We refused to compromise, and the negotiations reached a stalemate. And then, a fire broke out on the 4th floor. The 3 of us were trapped in the negotiation room. Originally, we could have gotten out. But that security guard closed the door to the fire escape. The hallway was full of heat and smoke. I can still remember the sharp screams and cries. I remember the sudden loud music. We desperately begged the people outside to open the door, but no one did. Small and thin Mandy climbed out the window. She stumbled into the hallway behind the kitchen. Then her scream rang out, followed by the sound of a dining cart being dragged. My hair caught fire. Lucy used all her strength, soaked her coat in the bathroom, and draped it over me to let me go out. I ran out later, covered in burns, in pouring rain. I lay in the grass halfway up the mountain, dying, and saw cars driving past. But my throat was hoarse, and I couldn't shout even with all my strength. I could only crawl and crawl with all my might. I needed help. My companions were still in the fire. After a long time, I lost my strength. An old cleaner returning home covered me with a piece of clothing, covering my body. Later, after I woke up, I thought, no matter what, I have to get in a car, I have to come back. I have to save Lucy and Mandy. But when I came back here 3 days later, everything had changed. I stumbled through the night. I saw the hotel chef serving fresh soup made from unrecognizable ingredients to the staff and villagers who came to help put out the fire. Spices were added to the soup, giving off a fragrant aroma. The meat inside was dark red and fragrant, with authentic bamboo shoots. I couldn't find Mandy, nor could I find Lucy. Due to the fire, the land price plummeted, and the compensation contract for the demolition was based on the proportion of the land price at that time. So those people from the same village ultimately lost a lot of money. In the end, they didn't build villas here but turned it into a resort mountain villa centered around the hotel, building a huge golf course and leveling the villagers' ancestral graves. Night after night, I wandered, angry, screaming. I was unwilling, I struggled in pain. Sometimes I would see Mandy and Lucy, as if I were hallucinating, seeing them appear in the distance, but when I wanted to go talk to them, they would disappear. They hired many sensible experts. After their efforts, there were restraints and rules everywhere. They trained some special staff to ensure the new order was maintained after the rules were followed. These rules bound us. And they made us forget everything. If it weren't for Coco and the others, if it weren't for those constant temptations and greed, I might never have figured out who I really was. At this moment, I turned my head and saw myself in the mirror. The reflection there was how I looked after the fire. Cracked and brittle, with a dark red face. Memories flooded back. It really hurt, that feeling. From the phone, I could still hear Daisy's roommate, Lucy's voice, very cold. Daisy's leg hurts today, she's in bed. Do you need something? I said, "Lucy, it's me. It's Nina. Lucy, do you remember me?" "Nina?" Lucy's voice was puzzled. "Nina? It's..." I recalled the bold words she said when she led us to the negotiation. "If I don't pull this off, I'll write my name backwards." Lucy's voice trembled. "How? It's..." She was remembering. Lucy's family had a troublesome younger brother. He owed money from online loans and was waiting for compensation to pay off his debts. I said, "Your brother is dead, did you forget? The second month after he didn't pay off the online loans, he jumped off the building in front of your mom." Hearing this, Lucy burst into tears. Her voice grew longer and more piercing, just like when she yelled at me to hurry up and leave during the fire that day. And in her crying, there was a sound of terrified screaming. It was the voice of her roommate, Daisy. And Selena, here with me, was frantically pouncing on Coco, but when she pulled her, she found that Coco's entire body was stiff. Her exposed skin, except for her face, looked like it had been burned, completely red. Selena reached out and smashed the glass with the wine bottle, then she jumped down. It felt like that night all over again. I heard the sound of people stumbling and running outside, more screams and shrieks rang out, more doors opened, and then I heard the sound of car engines starting. I walked out of the room, towards the balcony, and saw cars pouring in from outside now that the road was clear. I saw the developers and hotel bosses walking down, smiling. How many years has it been? Yesterday's team building activity video edits were quite good. Several influencers were enthusiastically inviting the boss to come and inspect the results. Now, they were here. In their eyes, the influencers' promotion this time was very effective, and the hotel looked harmonious. Shirley and Daisy appeared from somewhere, stumbling and running towards the bosses. Selena was crawling on the ground, running towards those bosses with a crying. The bosses didn't understand at first. Selena cried out, "The retreat is over. Let it end." The last rule, "the retreat ends on the third day," was completely broken. So, all the rules in the anonymous onboarding group chat completely disappeared. In an instant, we lost all our restraints. Now we could go wherever we wanted. Mandy went to the kitchen. In the kitchen, Lily's terrified scream rang out, followed by the sound of retching. I walked out the window. Under the gloomy sky, under the heavy clouds, I completely walked out. The mud on the ground would no longer bind me. The moment the hotel boss and his partners saw me, their faces all changed dramatically. Everyone turned and ran towards their cars. Then came the sound of the cars stalling. As I walked, I looked at the terrified crowd outside. They were screaming and shouting. The hotel boss fell to the ground, and his driver stepped over his back. He didn't have time to get angry. He scrambled to his feet and ran outside. The direction they fled in panic was the same direction I fled after the fire that day. I'm very familiar with this road. I smiled slightly. The phone in my hand fell to the ground as I quickened my pace. This phone, it seemed now, was warped from burning. The screen and interface were pitch black, looking like it had been broken for a long time. I picked it up and accidentally touched it. As my thoughts moved, red text slowly appeared on the pitch-black phone screen. These messages appeared in the phone groups of every guest present. "Welcome home. This time, if you've come, let's stay here together. Come see my home. This time, I'll be very careful. I won't give anyone a chance to leave reminders afterwards. Affecting the guests' rest.